I started drawing when I was 8. Ever since then, that's been a passion. As far as painting in the style that I work, which is very realistic, more based in 17th century Dutch painting, a lot of that is self-taught. As I progressed through the decades, I've had different interests, and some of that has changed. But now I find I'm going back to that more. I always felt the need to open up this space to the exterior. I am claustrophobic, so having a window as a way into the painting to move through the space is always really important for me. And so most of the paintings you see in the Portal series, they not only have a door where you enter through the space, but you can go through that and to an exterior space. The paintings are composites of places I've been. And my first trip to Ireland was in 1988, and I fell in love with the country. The next year I went back as an artist in residence. And so I spent the next 9 years spending my summers in Ireland painting. And being in Ireland really initiated this interest in ancient sites. So I spent really about 10 years doing paintings of ancient stone circles. And what really interested me was the connection to history. In this case, some of them like 3,000 to 4,000 years old. And what I found so remarkable about visiting them was things really hadn't changed much, but it was a way of connecting with history. And then after about 9 years of painting these stone circles, I got really sick of green and gray. Wanted to change my palette, and then 2006 and 2007, I taught in Italy, and gradually moved from the Romanesque to the Renaissance, because it was the center of the Renaissance art, and became much more interested in the architecture of the Renaissance, particularly the doors, the tympanums, and then also the tiled floors. Mainly the Mediterranean area of Europe has inspired the work, but centuries back and some present. The series that I'm working on now, I'd say that the last few years, still influenced by Italy, but also by Spain. The paintings, they really started more as a way of hanging on to a memory or a place, or wanting to return to a place. So many of the paintings in the current Portal series, the architecture is from Europe, from Spain or Italy, but the exterior environment is from North Carolina or Wisconsin. The painting currently in the gallery of the yellow wall with the winter scene and the white peacock. It was inspired by teaching Italy, visiting what's called Caiano, which is one of the Medici palaces, and which is now a museum, basically, of still lifes. And then the exterior is from a Wisconsin winter scene from the Wingler River in Wisconsin. And so it was really about my being caught between two worlds, living in Wisconsin but wanting to be in Italy. So this contrast between these two worlds that I felt I inhabited. And then the white peacock was more a sense of about afterlife, about death. I think what interested me most was the textures. And that's probably why I love the Mediterranean cities so much, because of the sense of age and texture. Really, the Portal series are about not only my memory in the sense of two worlds, but also about passage from one world to the other. I do think a lot about, is there life after death? Does a purgatory exist? For me, they're sort of metaphors for what happens. Where does this life lead? And so I think that's that passage into another world, a world that you don't necessarily expect from where you are.